Let us welcome to the ballroom horror icons Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan. Let's give them a round of applause. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Anywhere in the right?
Hey!
Wow! An icon!
Whoa, woo!
We've just got one half of an icon right now. Playing the part of Dave Sheridan today will be Zeus. I do all his stunt work anyways because I am his body double. No, he is right here! There he is! Big round of applause. Okay. No.
Oh my God, I've done 28 movies with this man. Somebody
Here, I'm gonna get out of your guys' way. There we are.
No comment. Gail swallows.
I love Doofy. I think I'm in love with Doofy.
Now,
Good.
I am. I love Doofy. He's so cute.
Now, could we ever see the possibility of Doofy in a movie with you?
Oh my
And
God.
Joofy.
And Doofy and Joofy. Oh, I love it.
Wait, you were supposed to dress up as Doofette today.
I was. I
you bring
I
it?
have a Doofette costume.
What you
but
did last year. This time last year, we were at the Rose Bowl. Because during COVID, we had to find alternate ways to keep in touch. And so the drive-in movie theaters, they really had a resurgence in America because people could stay in their cars. So we did a Halloween special with Joe Bob.
Called The Haunted Drive-In, yeah. And everyone would stay in their cars and zombies would attack the
It was
cars.
interactive.
Yeah.
So you were watching us on the screen, and then we'd run out, and there'd be zombies in the car, and and you'd have to honk your horns and flash your lights, and kind of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show kind
And
of
this
thing.
was in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You
did
couldn't
like-
do this in Texas, though, because if you did that as a fake zombie, you would have got shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have real. Yeah, they would have real guns in the truck and stuff like that. We'd like, oh, they just killed our actors. So, but that was a lot of fun. But so on Halloween night, then she dressed up as Doofette, which was just like it was funny.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So working together, 28 movies, almost 30?
Yeah, that's what I told him. I missed the last two
Yeah.
No,
because the boss didn't hire me. She's producer of 27 of those movies.
And it's funny how I always cast you, Dave Sheridan.
Right. It's good.
It's fun. We have a good time together. And honestly, although, even though he's sitting here, I can say he's the greatest actor we have in our independent horror world. His characters are unlike anything I've ever seen. Even just working with him as another actor, he's taught me so much about how to create a character and clearly how to live in that world. Wow. Are you ever not Doofy?
I'm getting excited. Oh, yeah. Woo! Oh, shit.
No, it is. It's always a joy. And, the films are fun. We've played so many different relationships.
Yeah, that's what I liked about what she brought. As being a producer, she controlled, what we're going to be able to do. And so she challenged me in a lot of... I love doing the films with her because she offers me roles that normally I wouldn't get. You know what I'm saying? Like a straight lead, because people want me to be goofy. We did one called Scream Test where I play a detective, but I'm pretty grounded and, normal.
We played lovers. That was the first movie we
First on-screen
I was
kiss.
like, oh my God, I can't kiss my best friend. This is weird.
Yeah.
So did you two know each other prior to working together? Or, what was your origin story? How did the two of you meet?
Good. I don't remember.
Online. It was called Match Date Swipe. And I dropped the phone.
Horror date.
Horror date. No, horror. Wait, was it horror date or both? You were on both, right? Settle down. No, it was Hatchet 4, Victor Crowley.
Has anyone seen Victor Crowley?
Yeah.
That was the first.
That was our
movie we did
introduction to
together.
each other, although we met each other briefly a year before at Days of the Dead in Atlanta.
But I don't remember. He came to my table to say hi. I was just like, okay, hi.
Yeah. I mean, I came to her table, and she was busy too, and then I can't forget it, right? You know what I mean?
Did you come as a fan, or did you
No,
come
I was there, but
I'm in your movie, by the way.
I came to her as a fan, yeah. So, yeah.
Just so you know, I'm the guy that's been in this movie with you.
Right. Yeah. But it was fun. Victor Crowley was challenging, for sure. Yeah. I don't know what it's called here. Is it Hatchet 4 or Victor Crowley over here? Okay. Because in Europe, it's Hatchet 4. Which is good, because we just did that, and they bring a lot of Hatchet 4 DVDs and stuff like that.
Nice.
I personally like, it is a Hatchet movie, but they changed it they rebranded the Victor Crowley because of wanting to build Victor Crowley up more as a name.
Right.
And we all love Kane Hodder.
Right.
Who doesn't? Right.
Woo, yeah, come on.
Jason does.
It's so funny, he texted me this morning, and he's like, I love that show, Frightmare in the Falls. He said this is one of his favorites. So I'm sure he'll be back next year.
I just love that you just name drop. She's like, oh, yeah, and Kane texted me this morning.
He's the reason I'm here. He called and said, hey, you have to do this show.
Oh.
So I owe him thank you, because this has been such a beautiful weekend. I want to thank all of you for coming out and being here. We appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Now I know.
Can I just say something? There's something about Canada, because we do enough of these, and usually it's a split of like, oh, there's some Michael Myers and there's some Jasons, but there's way more Jasons up here. This must be what is that about Canada and Jason? Because it's the hockey mask, and it's hockey. That's what it is. That's
you would
what
think
it
that,
is.
though.
I just figured it out.
But the Michael Myers mask is William Shatner,
right?
So he's a Canadian as well. You would think that we'd go there.
Exactly. Well, I did a show up in Mars, and it was all William Shatner, Michael Myers masks up in Mars. Yeah.
Makes sense. And there was surprisingly a lot of Jeff Bezos stickers there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the weirdest thing. Now, you guys have worked 28 movies together.
Yeah.
I won't ask you if you're sick of each other yet. I'll let somebody else do that.
Are you sick of me?
No. Right? That's the right answer, right?
He's like, I want to get cast in 30.
No, it gets better every day. Every day gets better, which is amazing, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you guys have something that stands out, though, for you? Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, we did, like I said, the movie Scream Test was one of my most favorite times on set with him, because our characters were so we worked so closely together.
Right.
And I think that's where our friendship really blossomed. Like, we really got to know each other because we had to spend so much time together on set every single day.
Especially when they're like on location movies like that, like Camp Twilight was also shot in Florida. So when you get to go away, like I shot Scary Movie up here in Vancouver, and when you go somewhere, like we shot Time's Up in Maine.
Yeah.
You know,
we've had a lot of amazing trips. Yeah. We get to go. We just
so when
shot
you're
a movie
away
in Connecticut.
from home, then you're isolated more with the casting.
Well, we do have a funny story about a movie we did together. It was originally titled Killer Rose.
Right, that's what I was gonna bring up.
And now it
because that's my favorite movie.
What's that?
That's my favorite one of ours.
Is it?
Yes, it's called.
Okay.
Well, because of who we play and the things that happen and stuff like that.
It's called Cold-Blooded Killers.
Right.
And we play the worst of enemies. But
Right.
it's funny because we're both kind of method actors where we are really in these characters, right? We live in this world for so long that you become the role. And my character is really on the hunt to kill him. He was such a dick on the set as the character that I grew infuriated with him. I was so pissed that by day 2, I sent him a text, can I curse?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We're in Canada.
Don't fucking curse.
I said,
You know the fucking rules.
Fucking talk to me on this fucking set. I don't want to see you. He got the text. He was like,
That was 6:30 a.m. I was like,
he thought I sent it
I'm
to
trimming
the
my
wrong
beard.
person.
Yeah.
He was like, was that meant for me?
I didn't even respond because I'm like, that could be, sorry, wrong thread kind of thing or something. I'm like, But then I got to set and I knew it wasn't. I go, oh, she's not even looking at me. I was like,
Thank you.
So.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
But
We got
it
set.
worked for the roles though because we were like, enemies. And again, she's the producer and she gave me the role. And that was one where I got to play a pretty vicious bad guy, but not, and it wasn't really a horror movie. It's more of a grindhouse, gun, shoot 'em up, roadhousey kind of movie. but I'm all tatted, and you wouldn't recognize me. Well, I don't know when you do recognize me. That's
like
the thing.
Such a dick, you know. His hair, he shaved his head with like a big. I mean, you looked hot, but I hated everything about you on that set. I can't say it enough. Hang on, let me try. No, okay.
And then when we watch it together too, right?
Did we watch it?
Yeah, when it came out, we watch it, and you're like, I hated you here. I hated you here.
I did.
Like,
I'm honest, you know. At least you can say I don't fuck around. I'm telling you the truth.
You guys seem to get along like really well, like brother and sister. Like,
well, we're so close that we actually finish each other's
Sentences.
No, I was going to say lattes, coffees. Damn, sentences. I got to remember that one.
I fucked that up. Yeah, we do. We get along really well. We, you know, we both have families and kids.
About
and
the kids, about the same age, right? Yeah.
So we'll call each other. Both our girls are on cheer.
Or the shoes that they're getting, or that
birthday presents.
You know,
like, what should I get? So it's fun. It's like we are family, you know, and it's nice. We're safe with each other on set. We know what to expect. So it's a good working relationship.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of good ribbing.
I don't know how the spouses feel about it.
Yeah.
But
that's always a delicate thing to balance, no matter where.
My husband's like, "What are you dating, Dave Sheridan? Like, what is this? You're with Dave more than you're with."
Especially when I have to pick her up to go to the airport. I'm like, "Hey, bye."
It's like, we've got this great role for the two of you. You're going to play a couple, and both of your spouses are like, no, that's not happening.
We did a movie called Lady Killer, and we played
Newlyweds. We played Newlyweds.
And it was
on our honeymoon.
It was my first a real on-screen sexual moment.
Yeah.
And thank God it was with him, because it's terrifying to do that with a crew, and you're it's awkward. You have to.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
But it was comedic though.
Yeah.
So you know, it wasn't legitimately
I don't want to get graphic, but it was it was funny. It was definitely funny.
Because we're heading to our honeymoon, but I'm getting tired, and then we pull over at the Bates Motel-y kind of thing, you know. But it's like as if you took Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Bates Motel and Motel Hell or whatever, you know. And it's just inbred people, and you know, the key to our room is on a plunger. You know what I mean?
Ginger Lynn. Does everyone know Ginger Lynn? She's hilarious. She's
brilliant in this, though. Yeah.
She's brilliant. She plays the motel owner.
The mom.
Yeah, and she's just awesome. And Jeremy Spencer, who's from the band
Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah. He directed it and wrote it.
Yeah.
And Joe Bob Briggs plays my brother in it.
Perry Shen's in it. Andy Dick.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's great. Good cast.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Now, we had asked the floor a lot this question about the genre of horror, because there's so many different subsets to it. You've got your slasher, you've got your supernatural, you've got your torture porn. What is both of your favorite form of horror?
I love home invasion. I think it's sick because I think it could happen. So that keeps me more enthralled and captivated. I mean, a man in a mask really isn't going to come and get me in the woods. But somebody fucking breaking down your door and coming into your house, like Funny Games or The Strangers, that shit is amazing. I love it. I'm crazy.
Because it's grounded in what could,
in
you know
reality.
what I mean? That taps into, right.
And they're just, you know, I find them fascinating because you get to see how they react and what truly would happen.
I always wanted to do one. It was called The Next Logical Step. So it would be because you know how someone was like, why did you do that? Yeah. Well, come on. Just
the car's
leave.
Running right there.
Lock the car. Honk the horn. What do you do? You know what I mean? So I
Turn
was
the lights on.
What if you really did follow that next logical step, but it's and each time it just opened up a new can of worms.
Like
kind
a
of
Pandora's box almost.
Right, yeah.
I love it.
So you did call the cops, but it's that didn't work out either, you know what I mean?
You call the cops, but you're black and it's in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I can make that joke. I can make that joke. I'm sorry.
We're taking you to Texas. He's got a lot of Texas jokes. Texas.
Yes.
We're in Texas.
I'm sorry, Texas. I do love you, Texas, if you're here. Don't shoot. What's your favorite genre?
Well, I like The Shining is my favorite all-time movie. So I don't know, what is that, like a thriller? What do you call it? Psychological thriller?
Psychological thriller, I think, yeah.
Right? You know, I mean, the newest ones of those have moved into the paranormal aspect, which The Shining is.
Yeah.
In a weird way, it's paranormal. There's ghosts and there's this.
Yeah,
and,
and he's got the
you know,
shitting.
so it does move into that paranormal thing. So you can't. The one thing about paranormal, and I had the conversation in London, England, when we were over there, was that is something you also can't take off the table as a possibility of being real.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's had moments of like that. Oh wow, man, that cupboard opened, or this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, especially if you believe in a higher power, then you have to believe in things can do other things.
Right.
You know. So
I'm very Schrodinger. I'm very. I'll believe it when the box opens. When I die, that's when I'll know what's real and what's not real. That's just my whole thing.
yeah, there's an unboxing of heaven YouTube channel.
The Shining's actually my favorite movie. When my kids were finally old enough to watch horror movies,
Right.
I watched it with them, and Angela met my daughter an hour earlier, who loves horror movies, and I remember when it was over, they were like, that was fucking boring. I was like, fuck you!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was so.
Like, what didn't happen is supposed to scare you.
Oh man, I've had that whenever we play our kids the movies, certain movies, and they're like, man, that wasn't that good. I'm like, really? That's a classic.
Don't even get me started on my children not liking Night Court. Neither here nor there.
It was shot in Texas.
Wait, don't tell me that.
No, it wasn't. Glendale.
Knife Corp?
Yeah, Glendale.
No, Night Court.
Night
I was
Court.
Oh,
Harry
Knife Court.
Anderson.
I thought you said Knife Court.
No.
She's in that with
He did a
Kane.
movie called Knife Corp.
Oh, was it a parody of Night Court?
No, it's a.
That would be great.
It's like a soliciting thing.
Yeah.
Like, Kane plays a homeowner, and people to come to the door, and then what he
He's
does
great
to the
in
people
it. It's Kane's very serious dramatic work.
Nice.
And he was fantastic in it, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of range. Like, that's the one thing with Hollywood, with the typecasting, that kind of gets infuriating, I would imagine, for actors and actresses, is when you get typecast in something when you know you can do so much more, because we've seen Kane do some serious dramatic acting.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an actor, you really want to grow yourself. I mean, and I'm fortunate to be in the genre because we're a very open genre. We allow anyone to work. It's like, I'm in my 50s, and mainstream would not have me doing what I'm doing in the genre. So I get to play so many different varied roles and all types of women. So, and it's been fantastic. And, I'm just so thankful for it.
Yeah, I think
now,
that
the roles are better now.
They are, yeah. Well,
Right?
you're the boss. You're the producer.
You
You know what I'm going to play? I think I'll take that role. This is a male, 52, blue eyes.
Perfect.
I can play that. Okay.
See, I could. That's right.
Because that's my thing is I do get typecast as, I started out as the deputy.
Yeah.
Then I'm the sheriff or the park ranger. Then I'm the mayor. Now I'm the governor soon. You know what I mean? Like we were talking. I'm working my way up the municipality of horror.
By the end, you will be POTUS.
Right.
By the end, you will be King of Texas.
Right. Exactly.
Now, are you guys open for some questions from the floor as well?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, come on, right up here. I'll hand you the mic.
Thank you.
There you are, my friend.
This is mostly for you, because I heard that for the final scene of Sleepaway Camp, they had to take a cast of your face and then put it on a young child. What was that experience like?
Well, Sleepaway Camp was one of, or not, maybe the best experience of my entire life. And I was 13 when I got the role. They told me about the end scene once they cast me, and at first they wanted to just put a penis on me. I don't know how, but they were thinking it. So then they decided that Ed French, the amazing effects artist on that film, made a mold of my face, and they had to put it on a boy, but he had to be 18 to do the nudity, and he had to be my body shape, and he had to shave his body. So he didn't really enjoy that experience very much, and he drank a bottle of Jack Daniels and cried, sadly, wearing the Angela mask. And we haven't heard from him since. And it's Dave Sheridan.
It's me. It's me. That's 29 films. Just wanted to finally reveal that.
28 and a half.
Yeah, 28 and a half. Yeah, like, yeah.
Look at you with your vacuum.
I know.
That should actually be the name of your next movie, 28 and a half.
28 and a half. That would be cute.
Any other questions, folks?
Well, I want to actually
sure.
add to that because I've done molds as well. And in that one, her mouth had to be open. All right. So how did you do that with them? How did they do that?
It was.
You remember?
I do remember.
How did they do it?
I was in Ed French's little apartment in Manhattan, and I had to sit there. And in 1982, it wasn't like the stuff, the
Today,
stuff
where it goes quicker, you're saying?
That they use. I had to sit under that for like an hour, and you can't breathe. It's like, so I just did it. You know, I was so excited. I had. Now I'm like, no way, I'm not doing.
How did they cover your mouth though? Like what?
They just the thickness of the
It was dripping
material
in? Yeah.
was just kind of like I don't know.
Pretty awesome.
It was there. It was weird, but I do them all the time because somehow I'm always getting. Well, I kill a lot of people, but I get killed too. And doing those molds are really like torture. It's so hard to sit under that. When I did Victor Crowley, I had to have the whole thing made of my head, and ooh, it's a lot. It's very claustrophobic.
I've been there for one. We did
Yeah.
one. It was for Lady Killers, I think, right?
Did you do it for Lady?
No, you did it.
Oh
I was
yeah,
there
how to do it for
watching
Lady
you.
Killer? Yeah, yeah.
I was there to support her, and then as soon as her eyes got covered, I went back out to my car.
She went,
She was like, yeah.
and I
She
was
won't
like,
know that
and
you're
this is
not
me.
there anymore.
Because then, you know, it covers your hearing and everything. I said,
God.
come and then I came back.
That's when you just set up like.
She was so mad. She's like, you were
I
supposed
was
to
like,
support
you
me.
left. You took
You were texting the whole time. I go,
support. This is what you did. You're not in film number 28.
so by the way, like, so when you're in that thing, you know, there is like a Houdini, like, get me out. I can't take it,
Oh,
right?
it's-
So you usually have like a hand signal because you can't talk, and you would think the hand signal is like, right? That's like, no more. Get me out. She, at the end, was like, I'm done. I want to get out. But she was doing this. They were like, how are you? And she was like, and I was like, what, jazz hands? What's going on? Like, what? And she was like, didn't you guys see my signal? I go, that's like, man, maybe. Like, I'm like, what the hell was that?
You know what? I was under it for an hour. They're all bullshitting with each other. There's like 10 people in the room.
Yeah.
You could show pictures. It's heavy, and you're
It's
taped
heavy.
up. It's so disturbing, and no one is asking how I'm doing. So I was like, "Hello, I'm panicking."
Yeah.
This is the universal sign for panic.
I don't know. What? Come on. A show of jazz hands. Is that jazz hands?
Like, if you don't fucking help me, I'm gonna kill you.
Patty cake. What's going on? No, it's this, and then you're just joking me. I go, I don't know. Maybe we get her out. How's this for? Am I gonna?
No, she was saying I choked on that last.
Right.
You got one?
So this is for Felissa as well. In Sleepaway Camp, did they actually let you do any of the kills?
I'm sorry. Say that
Good
one
question.
In
Did they let
Sleepaway
you do any of
Camp-
the killings in Sleepaway?
No, they did not.
Oh.
The hands are Jonathan Tiersten, who plays Ricky. I think it was a combination of Screen Actors Guild feeling like I was too young, and I think my mom also felt like some of that would be difficult on a 13-year-old.
How old was Jonathan?
Jonathan was 17.
17, so he was
So
a
he
little
was more
older.
mature. You know, he was
Yep.
he was a senior in high school.
I remember hearing that your mom actually had to read the script, and they were like, is it okay that your dog's gonna have a penis and that whole thing?
Yeah.
So what was that? Like, what was that reaction like when that came out? Like, did your direct?
In my family? Yeah. Well, on the callback, the producers sat down with my mom and said, look, we're interested in casting her. How do you feel about her wearing a strap-on? And you know, and if you know, my mom's a character. She's a New York, like, manager. Like, oh, my God, yeah, we think it's cool. Yeah, put the strap on. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Who wouldn't want their 13-year-old daughter wearing a fucking penis? Couldn't think of anything better. Cast her. But
Your mom's dead on. I've met her mom. That's exactly the.
that's how I got Kathleen and Victor Crowley, because when I did Scary Sleepover with Adam Green, it's his series, he asked me about Sleepaway Camp, and I did that impression of my mother. And he was like, "Oh, that's going to be a character in a movie, yeah." But my family was really very supportive, and they thought it was an amazing script and fun.
Very groundbreaking, very risque at the time for 1983, right?
Yeah, it was 1982. Yeah, and I was 12 when I auditioned, so I was pretty young, you know. But they were really into it.
I mean, I was about 8 or 9 when I saw that. So.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Wow, that's young. That's really young. Yeah, good times.
I was watching Porky's.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say
Same
I was watching porn.
It was the same thing.
I thought you said
I think the kid
porn.
left the set thing, and he's like, all he is the penis guy.
That
Hey,
was
what's up? What do
he
you
was
want
the
me?
he was
Hold
the
on.
glory hole.
Yeah.
That was again. Sorry. Pumpkin tuxedo. Come on down. I don't know your name, so Pumpkin Tuxedo Guy. I like it.
He's Joe
Yeah,
Bob
that's what I said when we were pulling in. I saw him walking in. I said, "Look, it's Joe Bob."
Dave, you've created one of the most comedic characters in probably comedy of horror, right, with
Oh,
Doofy.
thank you.
And I was just curious as to whether the Wayans brothers ever got back to you about the sequels. I was just wondering why you never called
Why
back.
don't you?
So what was it? What?
Why did Doofy never return to the Scream series or Scary Movie?
Oh, so
Sorry.
they only did the Scary Movie 2, and they weren't involved after that. And I did give them a little bitchy. I bitched at them. Like, it wasn't even so much about Doofy being in it, but like, why didn't I just come back and play another character? Because they said, oh, we didn't have something written for Doofy. I go, but you know I could play other characters. Then they're like, you're right. Let's put you in other movies. So then I started playing other characters. And then it became a Where's Waldo thing of like, hey, find the white guy in our movie. That's, you know. So. Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, that's what I always talked about.
Which was the scariest role he's ever played.
Yeah. No, I think like that's what people don't understand is like Doofy is dead. The guy that I become at the end probably killed Doofy long before and took over his personality. So this poor Doofy's really he's in a barrel somewhere, chopped up, you know, an oil barrel. So who is that?
That's actually he's actually in the box. That's what Brad Pitt opened with. Morgan
Yeah, because we are talking. I'm about to shoot something with Marlon next week, another Wayans thing, and it's for Netflix.
I'm going to crash that set.
Yeah.
Is it White Chicks too? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
we can't ask. We can't.
You want to know what's funny?
Not.
I thought it was going to be that because I
They were
did
talking
interviews.
about it.
Well, I've seen the script and I have a good role in that one, and so I'm like, when are we going to make that? What's it going to be? White grandmas too? Like it's going to, you know? So.
White grandma.
But yeah, all I can say about this one is it takes place on Halloween night. That's all I got to say. And it is in the haunted house and the scary movie kind of thing.
Another parody.
It's not a parody. This one's actually original, but it's more like Night at the Museum meets like Jumanji of like Halloween stuff.
Nice.
That's all. You know, and where the parents have to protect the kids on trick or treat night. It's pretty cool.
Exciting.
Yeah.
He has such a great role. Yeah, so they called me. Michael Simpson, the new director for 2 and 3, called and said, oh, can you come in and read the script and read with me? And as soon as I read the Angela from 2 and 3, I just sucked. Like, to me, Angela was the quiet, shy, insecure, awkward young girl. And now on this page was this comedic, like, you know, character that I didn't understand. And so I had just gotten into college and I decided that I wanted to really go to university, and he loved Pamela and it kind of all worked out perfectly. So I was happy to return with Robert Hiltzik, and I think it just happened the way it was supposed to.
Well, I'm glad it was you turning it down and not being asked.
Yes, and I am very grateful that they did call me, and it wasn't meant to be. They shot both of them back to back in Georgia. So 2 and 3, yeah. And like I said, there was only one college I wanted to go to, and I applied early, and I called them to say, hey, can I postpone it? And they said, no, you'd have to reapply. So I said, nah, I didn't know at that time if I even wanted to be an actress. It was like I wanted to explore my options and see what else I love.
That crossroads moment that we
It
all
was
come
because
to.
look at a lot of young actors. It's hard to make that transition, and I really only did Sleepaway Camp as a kid. So I owned a business for a while in my 20s, and I kind of figured out that I did want, my passion was acting, and I came back, and now I can produce, which kind of helps me utilize like my business part of myself, and as well as the creativeness. So I'm a fucked up Gemini, and
I know both of them. I know both of you.
who do you like better?
Oh, they're both great. They're all good.
He's just afraid to say
Yeah.
it.
You know what's kind of, can I say something that we
course.
always, we realized was that people might not think there's a lot of similarities to Doofy and Scary Movie and Angela and Sleepaway Camp and Peter, but the reality is her character is like unassuming and gets picked on and is the killer, and then there's a reveal of there's something more than she is or he is, right? And then in Scary Movie's the same way. It's like everyone picks on Doofy. He is the killer. He's unassuming, and then at the end it's revealed that he's not.
Yeah.
He is more than he is. So it's
Isn't
got
it- we
sort
both-
of
we
those
realized
surprise
we were like-
endings and stuff.
Doofy and Angela are so similar. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
What's
the
that?
same.
Sometimes we think we are.
Yeah, that's why we say and Joofy.
Yeah, and Doofy. Yeah, we have a
We did
calendar.
bowling. We did bowling at the
At the
Scarefest.
last weekend, we were at a convention.
And on our bowling thing, we were the same team, Ann Joofy, and
yeah.
she bowled the first ball, and then I would bowl the second one.
Oh, let's
team
call it
bowling.
what it is.
So-
it was my team.
It
You
was her
crashed
team.
it.
I crashed it.
I couldn't even fucking bowl the
crashed
whole
it.
thing. He was like taking over.
It was
I'm like,
terrible
all
because,
right.
you know, when you bowl the first ball, you'll get 8.
Dave,
And I'm always left off with 2, and there's like,
Dave,
come
you
on,
want to
get
make
them. I'm like,
29 and 30, right?
Huh?
You want to get 29 and 30. Just
Yeah.
give her, it's her team.
Yeah, exactly.
It's her team.
It was awesome. Team Angela.
I do have a question for you, Dave, though. Have you come across Dave Arquette at all? And what
Yeah.
does he think of Doofy?
I think now I think he's warmed up to it. Well, I just recently ran into someone that on the Scream set, they were all calling him Doofy on the Scream set. And he was really, like, now he might be bugged again by it. Because the reality is he's like, Doofy is a bigger character than Dewey, you know, in terms of it's a meme and it's like people recognize it, you know, it's more
Right.
recognizable. To the point where if they didn't make another Scream, eventually people might go like, oh, I forgot he was spoofing, you know, Dewey. But the first time I met him, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I lived on this street called Gower Street, and I lived next door to his childhood home, where his mom still lived and his sister Alexa lived, and so I think I saw him a couple times, but I really, you know, respected people's privacy, so I didn't like, hey, what's up, or anything like that, and there was a tie right there, and we have a lot of mutual friends, and then the first time I met him, though, was he directed a movie. If you guys haven't seen this movie, it's called Tripper. Has anybody seen Tripper? Yeah, it's a great movie, and that he wrote and directed that. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. And Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman's amazing in that movie. I think it's a good movie. And but he directed it, so I got invited, and it was a red carpet. And so David, almost like a wedding, he was greeting everybody on the red carpet to take photos, which was really nice. You don't normally do that. And so I come walking up, and he had this white suit covered in blood. And so it was all white and covered in, and he's looking at me, and I come walking up, and I just go, hey, and he just goes, I know who you are. I know who you are. And he went, okay, photo. And I go, great. Anyway, and I was like, wow, maybe he is upset at me. So.
That's cute.
It's cool afterwards.
Yeah, and then we ran into each other at Universal Studios, like Horror Nights. They had that was when I did Devil's Rejects. They had us all there, and he was there with his wife.
Devil's
or whatever,
Rejects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that I think that year, Wes Craven or somebody, what they do down in Los Angeles, if you don't know, like the Universal Horror Nights, a director or writer, they curate it. They create the storyline of what it's going to be.
Nice.
So like Rob's done it one year, Eli Roth has done it, and so I don't know who's doing it this
Greg
year.
Nicotero. I
Greg
think.
Nicotero, yeah, he's done it, yeah.
We love Greg.
Question over there.
Sorry for my potty mouth.
I love her costume.
Oh my
It's great.
gosh, you're
Question
so
for
beautiful.
Dave. Just very curious, how did the relationship with the Chili Peppers start? And secondly, My daughter absolutely adores your moves in By the Way.
Okay,
Doesn't
great.
have to be here right now, but maybe when you're back by the tables, if you could show her some of those moves, that'd be wonderful.
Wait, that was okay. That was 16 years ago. No, I don't know. I might only have. I have moobs, not moves, but
He has a move.
yeah. So that well, they saw Ghost World. So that character Doug was in Ghost World, and Dayton and Ferris were the directors of the Chili Pepper videos, and they also did like Little Miss Sunshine and a couple pretty big movies. And so they just reached out via like Terry Zwigoff and Dan Klaus, like, oh, how did we get a hold of Dave? And they just called me, and that was it. They were fans of the character in the movie, and they thought it would fit. It was more, I think, John Frusciante had the bigger part in all that, because he really is a film buff and just watches movies and movies and movies. And so is Rob Zombie. He's like, that's why Rob puts a lot of comedic actors, and he always has like the Groucho Marx stuff, because in the last 3 from Hell it was like Jerry Lewis stuff happening. He really is Rob. His passion is old black and white comedies. That's what his bedroom is, and so it's always something different. Like Lemmy was into rockabilly. You know, they don't. Like Rob doesn't listen to hard rock music. He listens to like, ragtime or whatever. So it's interesting. Yeah. So that was it. Thanks. There's 2 of them. Did you know there was 2? Okay. A lot of people don't know that it's a sequel to that
Yeah,
video.
and you should go to his table, and he'll definitely do those dance moves.
I will. Yeah. I will.
If he wants to be in 28, he'll be doing those dance moves.
What's your name? What is? Kaylee. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll come. We'll try. I'll do my best.
You look so beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so we are getting pretty close for time. We might have enough for one question if someone's got one. Come on up. All right. The crime junkie, you like it?
Felissa, do you believe in urban legends, like when you filmed Satan's Playground, it had to do with the Jersey Devil?
I do. I really do. I love those. When I was making that film, we were so freaked out in the Pine Barrens. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they're exciting, and certainly they keep us on our toes. It's fun to make those films and to believe in all of that. And those stories in those areas are like they're almost tangible. You feel like the entire community there believes it, and that film was a very exciting movie for me. So one of my best experiences ever on set. But certainly scary as shit, because the area is like, the Pine Barrens. I mean, and it was the dead of winter. It was freezing. So, but we had a good time making it, and I do believe. We did a ghost.
What? A ghost hunt?
Our ghost hunt.
Oh yeah.
First ghost
We can't.
hunt.
No comment. No comment. That was scary. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Crazy. Yeah.
Because I'm skeptical, and
And I'm
left
not.
there.
So I was like,
Right. And I was walking in being like, oh, come on. And they're playing with us. Next thing you know, I'm lying on the floor going like, But
Yeah.
I always wonder why urban legends are always out in the rural areas, though.
because that's the most.
Never mind. Come on.
I live in a rural area, so I've got some ideas.
Yeah.
In Texas?
No, I'm not allowed back. I really do love Texas.
We love
Well, Texas
you.
Mickeys usually. That's the really big bottles. I don't know if you
Is
guys
there an
get them.
urban legend here for the falls? There's got to be
So
something.
we
A lot
have
of people.
the screaming.
Has
We have
to
the
be,
screaming tunnels
right?
here.
Screaming tunnels?
There's the
Okay.
screaming tunnels, which is right outside Niagara Falls, and there's been a lot of independent movies made on it. And the story varies. Basically, there was a house out back. We used to go party there. There used to be a house out back, and the story varies. One of the ones that I heard that I liked was there was a stepfather who he was in charge of his young daughter or his stepdaughter.
Oh, no.
The mother had died, and he was very abusive. And she broke something in the house, and he had chased her down. And didn't she burn in the tunnel somehow? She caught on fire and died.
Oh, because of the lantern.
A lantern, yes.
Yeah.
You can hear her
And
screaming.
you can
Do you
hear the
believe
screaming.
that? Do you
So
Do
believe
they
it?
scream because of the
Twice
wind?
a night you
believe
hear
it?
screaming, but it's not the wind, it's the tunnel. There's a train that goes up above, and that's the screaming.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
terrifying. I believe that.
Yeah.
Because
Oh my God. It's so much.
terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going with you.
You
Well, now
don't.
he
You do
just-
not
he
want to
just
be his children or my children. So.
We're going tomorrow.
But yeah,
Tunnels that's good. There's definitely some cave horror movies, but I have claustrophobia, so you really, like that's why Jaws always work, because who's not afraid of a goddamn shark?
Right.
There's nobody going like, I like swimming with sharks. You know the people that aren't afraid of sharks, they're dead.
Yeah, dead people. Dead people.
Sharks don't bother me.
Shark food. Like,
28 movies.
Yeah.
I was going to make a really bad Siegfried and Roy joke there.
I'm in a movie.
About tigers.
I'm in a movie with Tony Todd called Sky Sharks. That we shot in Germany. I don't know if anyone's seen that one.
Listen, there's no way it could be worse than what was the one they gave us to review
Cave
last year?
sharks.
Velocipaster.
Cave sharks.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Velocipaster? Yeah, they gave us that to review, and there's no way your Sky Sharks was worse than Velocipaster.
Oh. Okay.
Or his favorite movie that we were given to review, Spaghetti Man, about a man who got spaghetti powers from eating a bowl of radioactive spaghetti.
Wow. I
He
thought
would
I
shoot
heard it all.
wet noodles at people
Spaghetti?
instead of...
The weirdest part was all he ate was soup the entire movie.
Stop it.
Well, it was ramen. It was ramen, so...
His girlfriend dumped him because he was a wet noodle.
He was a wet noodle. Tell you what, how about a big round of applause for our panelists here, Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan. Let 'em hear it.